Today, we are going to dive into one of nature's most amazing feats of engineering. We're going to figure out exactly how the tallest trees on Earth manage to get a drink of water. It's all about the incredible hidden circulatory system of plants.
Have you ever really thought about it? How does water from deep in the ground travel hundreds of feet straight up to the very highest leaf on a tree? It seems to defy gravity. Well, that's exactly the mystery we're going to solve today.
To understand this, we've got to look inside the plant, at its internal plumbing system. Now, it's not like ours, there's no heart or blood vessels, but it's an incredibly smart system that is absolutely essential for the plant's survival.
So let's compare the two. Animals, like us, have this complex closed-loop system powered by a heart. Plants, on the other hand, use a much simpler but super efficient system of special tissues. It's less of a circular route and more of a powerful one-way stream going up. So the first major player in this system is called the xylem. The easiest way to think about it is as the plant's water pipeline. It's a whole network of tiny tubes dedicated to carrying water and minerals up from the roots to every other part of the plant.
And the second key player? That's the phloem. If the xylem is the water pipe, you can think of the phloem as the plant's food delivery service. It takes all the sugary food made in the leaves and distributes it everywhere the plant needs energy to grow.
Okay, so we have our pipelines, xylem for water up, phloem for food around. But where does this whole incredible journey for water actually kick off? Well, it all starts way down, deep underground in the roots.
So how does water even get into the plant to begin with? What's the secret that lets the roots soak up so much water from the soil, day in and day out?
The answer lies in these tiny, amazing things called root hairs. And no, we're not talking about the big, thick roots you can see. We're talking about millions of microscopic, thread-like extensions that snake their way between soil particles. Their job? To create a huge surface area for one thing: absorbing water.
Now, the physical process that actually pulls the water into these root hairs is a key concept in biology called osmosis. It sounds fancy, but it's really just nature's way of balancing things out. Water will always try to move from a place where it's less concentrated to a place where it's more concentrated.
And here's why that's so important for the plant. The water in the soil is pretty dilute, right? But the liquid or sap inside the root hair is much more concentrated with sugars and salts. So what happens? The water naturally flows from the soil across the thin wall of the root hair and right on in. It's an automatic process. Now, when you have millions of root hairs all pulling in water at the same time, that water starts to build up. It creates a kind of pressure, a gentle push from below that gives the water its first little boost on its upward journey.
And this force has a name. We call it root pressure. As water keeps flooding into the root cells because of osmosis, it literally gets pushed into the xylem tubes in the middle of the root. This generates a real physical pressure that starts forcing the column of water up into the stem.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. You can actually see this happen. There's a classic experiment where you cut a plant stem and attach a small glass tube. After a couple of hours, you'll see the water level inside the tube has actually risen, all on its own. That's root pressure, right there in action.
But here's the thing. Root pressure is just a gentle push. It's a start, but it's nowhere near strong enough to get water to the top of a really tall tree. For that, the plant needs a much more powerful engine, and that engine is located all the way at the top.
Just picture it. A huge eucalyptus tree can be 180 meters tall. That's like a skyscraper. A little push from the ground floor just isn't going to do it. The real power has to come from above.
And that powerful force is generated by something called transpiration. In simple terms, this is just water evaporating from the plant's leaves. And get this is mind-blowing. About 99% of all the water a plant absorbs through its roots is just lost to the atmosphere through transpiration. But it's not a waste, it's the engine.
The absolute best way to understand this is to think about drinking through a straw. You don't push the drink up from the bottom, do you? No, you create suction at the top, and that suction pulls the entire column of liquid up. It's the exact same principle in a plant.
So what we end up with is this constant, unbroken flow of water. It's being pulled up from the soil, through the entire plant, and then released out into the atmosphere. It's like a river flowing up to the sky.
And this whole pathway has a name. It's called the transpiration stream. A water molecule gets absorbed by the root hairs, travels up through the xylem, moves into the cells of a leaf, and then finally evaporates into the air. It's one continuous journey.
And what about all the vital minerals the plant needs from the soil? Well, you can think of them as passengers on this water highway. They get absorbed as ions, dissolve in the water, and just ride the transpiration stream all the way up the xylem to wherever they're needed.
Okay, that was a whole lot of cool biology. But let's switch gears for a second and really nail down the key ideas you need to know, especially for your exams.
All right, here is a very, very common exam question. What is the role of xylem in plants? Before I show you the answer, just take a second and think. How would you structure your response to get full marks?
Okay, ready? Here's the perfect answer. You want to hit 4 key points. 1, it forms a continuous network of tubes from roots to leaves. 2, its main job is to transport water and minerals upward. 3, it also provides mechanical support like a skeleton. And 4, it's the physical pathway for the transpiration stream. If you mention those 4 things, you're golden.
So the next time you look up at a tall tree, remember that incredible, silent river flowing inside it. It's a beautiful example of nature's brilliant engineering, constantly carrying life from the ground all the way up to the sky. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.